Start recording on here again. This is our weekly team call. Today is April 9th, and we are going to talk about inviting and connecting and how to find people. So that being said, I'm trying to get decent lighting. So I think something that we're all working on, especially, I have a blanket that I'm sitting on that just flew over my camera. Right now, I think it's very important because everybody's home. And one thing I think that you can take away from like the Success Club boards is like there are people who want to do this. This is the 9th of April and Amy's at like Success Club 50 something. You know, like there's people who definitely want this. Even Amber and Jacqueline, you being above Success Club 10, like people want to do this. This like everybody's home. All the gyms are closed unless it's something really sketchy. And I have seen a couple people still post that they're going to like personal, small, limited space gyms. And I'm like, okay, well, the majority of people are staying home. I've had a ton of people reach back out who said, you know, it was funny because this one girl who I went to high school with has reached out. She's like, you inspire me so much. I never want to do home workouts. Like it's not my thing at all. And I'm not interested in coaching, but like you inspire me. Well, she just reached out and she was like, hey, can I get a bod subscription from you? So like everybody, as long as you're talking about it, as long as you're showing up and as long as you're like inviting to it, people are seeing that and people are coming back around. But that's why it's important to connect with people and reconnect with people and find new people and make sure you are inviting. So I don't know if we want to go around and like share how we're connecting and how we're finding people or if anybody has thoughts on that. Amber.
Well, I wanted to just talk about like the mindset around inviting and talk about like this is the same shit I always say, but like why the business activity tracker is so important. I think that people go, they think they're doing it or they half-ass it, but they're not consistently doing it. My goal is 5 days a week. Am I like still posting on my social media and having conversations if they come up? Sure. Through the like on my days off, but I'm not like sitting there doing this all day long every single day. I'm just going down the business activity tracker and making sure that I'm doing all the things on it. And that can be in a power hour or it can be split up. So those of you that are still working, I know not everyone is at home. So, but I will say that I just don't believe that when people get to the inviting part that they're actually doing the inviting. And I think people get, and I was having conversations, this is based on like conversations I've had with a lot of people like privately too, and just being confused on who do I invite, what do I do? So I get the same question. So I thought maybe we could talk about that. And if anyone else had questions, we could talk about that as well. Because the way that Loea brought this up, so she had an idea yesterday because she was like, well, I don't know. I think it's helpful for me to see the way you guys invite. And the way that she's been able to do that is being in the chat groups and we push together for our team cup. And so she was like immersing herself and like, you know, paying attention to how we were doing things. So these aren't things that we're hiding only in the chat. These are things that we're talking about. But I think unless you're like actively doing the business activity tracker or paying attention to like actually paying attention to what people are doing that are seeing success, it's going to feel really like vague and confusing. So one of the questions I got was 2 things I want to talk about. How do I find people when the same people are just following me and I don't have anyone to invite? And then the other question I get a lot is how do I not feel salesy? Or how do I start a conversation in nowhere? And so anyone else can like share how like they feel about it. And I'm very distracted right now because this baby, but I'll try to like share my biggest takeaways from both those questions as quickly as I can. And then I definitely want to hear from other people too. I don't want to be the only one talking, but just in my experience from doing this from the beginning, I think that you have to be inviting. And I say a lot of times, like, do invite how it feels natural to you. Don't, if it feels salesy, maybe you need to reword your, like how you're wording it. But at the same time, I think that we have to get uncomfortable and we have to push ourselves a little bit. So I don't personally, like Jacqueline can talk about cold inviting because she's been doing it more and having more success. But I personally think it's because she's so consistent on her stories. She's inviting such a large amount that she's not getting phased by the no's and like, so I think if you're up at that level, that's going to work for you. But if you're starting out newer and you're nervous and you invite 3 people and they all don't say anything, it can feel really shitty. So what I did from the beginning was share my story. We didn't have Instagram stories at the time. So I was just showing up consistently every day, 3 times a day on Instagram. And I did a lot of call to action posts or posts explaining what I'm doing without actually sending a message and asking people. But then when we would have other conversations about other things, then it would come up. So I think I could have built my business a lot faster if I had just gotten to the fucking chase and not just like kept these like side combos going forever. But I do think long term, having those daily connections, even if it's not about Beachbody, has paid off for me in the long run. So my point is that now we have stories. So I think everybody here is really good about being consistent, like being on their stories every day, talking about what they're doing, but to maybe clarify it a little bit more about start dates and make it just a crystal clear that you have something that they can join. So then when they do like your post, they do vote on a poll, they do ask you about something else random, it might not feel as weird to say, oh, did you see that I'm doing a challenge group this date? So I think that there's a way to bring like those side conversations back to invites like pretty quickly. But I will also say that I think that a lot of us assume that because we are sharing on our social media these like open call to actions, that it's so clear, like they should just join me, they should understand. And I want to make you guys understand that people are oblivious. You could say it every day and you still have to ask them. Like you have, like, so I think that consistency helps me, but then when I go to invite them or we're talking about something else, they can see that I'm showing up every day. So if they have to go together. And what I was gonna say was, I think we have to look back at like how we started. So I'm not to like totally call out Courtney, but we were talking about this yesterday and she was like, yeah, it took me 3 years to finally join you. And I think on her side of things, I probably could have been a little more persistent over those 3 years. I don't think she would have been offended. So I think that like on her side of things, she just wasn't quite ready yet. And if I had maybe followed up more and invited her more in the beginning, it might not have taken her 3 years. So, you know, you have to kind of flip it around. Like if somebody isn't immediately wanting to join your challenge group, or they ghost you, or they like whatever, just know that you're not offending them by asking them. If anything, the person that's getting that invite should be like, you know, wow, like flattered, unless it was out of nowhere. So for me, I focus on connecting in some other way before I bring up the invite, but I get to the invite is my point. So that was like a long thing about being consistent inviting. But if cold inviting feels weird, then it's so easy to do a poll and then invite from that. And like, even if they don't answer you, like, it's okay. You've still planted the seed. So I think that we have so many little tricks that you can do, that if you feel like you're not ready yet to totally cold invite, but you don't have, you know, all these people coming to you, which is never going to really happen. I just want to let you guys know that it's okay to get uncomfortable and it's okay to get rejection, but you have to just keep going. So that's all I want to say about that, because she's freaking out. And then I can talk more about getting more eyes on you to invite more people, but I'll shut up.
I want to talk about the like fear of failure thing and inviting and the mindset around that. Because I laugh at myself, because as a new coach, if I invited somebody and I thought they were going to say no, I literally wouldn't open the email. I wouldn't open the message. I was so freaked out by hearing no, because I didn't know how to handle objections. So if you struggle with hearing no, or if you're struggling with the fear around inviting, I think it's even goes further into the fact that you don't know how to handle objections, and you need to train yourself on how to handle objections and how to talk to people, and know that no 99% of the time just means not right now. Most people, if you are consistent, if you are following up, if you are showing up, they come back around, especially with things like this. Like this girl who I said reached out to me the other day about a bod subscription. Literally, like, I went to high school with her. I've invited her before, and she said, you know, I love what you're doing. You inspire me, but I'm never joining you. Like I just kept showing up. And now a couple years later, she's like, I need that body subscription. I need to work out from home. So, I think why it's important to also work on like objections and talking the way you talk to people and like just getting over that fear. The only way you're going to get over the fear of inviting is by inviting. And sometimes it's going to feel weird at first because it's something new. And you also have to give yourself that grace to understand it's something new. It's something that maybe you haven't done a lot before, or you have heard no and you struggle with hearing no. There's also personal development, business development books that you can read, and I highly suggest around hearing no, which is Go for No, and Failing Forward. It helps you like change your mindset around those things, because you have to think about it this way. Like I like Michael Jordan. How many shots did he make before like he scored winning baskets? J.K. Rowling, how many books did she write before Harry Potter? Like you have to keep showing up. You have to keep inviting. You have to keep asking, and you're just going to get better. You're just learning. It's just a learning experience. And like Amber said, 9 times out of 10, if you are coming from a place of like caring and being like, you should do this with me, or just from a very authentic place, like people aren't going to be offended by it. You're not like, hey, I really think you should lose weight. You should join the challenge group. You're not an asshole. Like you're not being that person. You're like coming from a place of like, hey, I have this group going on. You've watched my stories, we've talked, or I see you just started following me. I see you're on your fitness journey too. I know gyms are closed right now. I want you to know I have this group going on, and here's an invitation for you to join me with this brand new boxing program. It's super fun. And you know, then just carry on the conversation, but you have to get over the fear of inviting. So again, Go for No and Failing Forward are great personal development books on that. But if you struggle with it so much that you're like procrastinating it, I also recommend the book Eat That Frog, because it helps you get over the procrastination aspect, and also the book by Mel Robbins, 54321. You okay? You okay? Because it helps you like just do the damn thing, which I think is a big part of it too. So that's kind of my input on that aspect.
I was going to mention about like the no's and the objection thing. Like when I first started, I was so nervous that people were going to be like, MLM, sales, judge. And when I think about it, like nobody really gave a shit. Like nobody was really judging me. Like if I was inviting somebody, if they said like no, usually like that, like months ago, I'd be like, okay, like I never like, you know, did any sort of like objection or anything like that to them. And like, but like knowing now, like think about this for a second, like when your coach invited you, were you like, oh, MLM salesy person? Probably not, right? You were just like, oh, I'm not ready. Because I know like so many people in here have said no so many times. Josie immediately shut me down. Like when I invited her, she shut me down. Hold on, I gotta get Cody. Chill, dude. And I was just like, I took it as like, okay, like, bye. Like it scared me because she said no. Lexi, I think I followed up with you how many times, right? Like she said no so many times too.
I said no all the time. I was not ready at all. And I still wasn't ready when I said yes. I just was like, I have to do it.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Like I sent out a newsletter and I put her on it, and she's like in my like coach op newsletter. I was like, I need her eventually. I sent her the newsletter.
Your emails.
Huh?
I actually love your emails. That's part of the reason why I wanted to do it.
Thank you. And I think like a huge thing that made me overcome like the whole like issue with objections is who is it that did the training in the Set Your Soul on Fire group? It's called Objection Ninja, and I've tagged many coaches in that thing, and I highly suggest watching that. I took notes, I listened to it, I took notes, I used like some of the verbiage that she used, and I got over like my fear, you know? Yeah, Michelle, I'm pretty sure everybody has said no to me. There's a few people that like, hi Kim, I think she said yes immediately. She's the bomb. But you know, like just practicing and like keep inviting, and watch the whole Objection Ninja training to like find your wording on like how to handle objections. And I say this all the time, like a lot of people say, I don't have the money, or like, I don't have the time, and they're just kind of blowing you off. And that's kind of like an invalid excuse, because maybe they're just not ready for it. And like, that's the first thing people like to say is like, I don't have this. But then when you like get down to the bottom of it and figure out what the actual issue is, a lot of the times they're just like, actually, you know what, maybe this is a good idea. And if you just keep doing that like over and over and over, and like kind of play a numbers game with yourself, like you're just going to build your confidence in talking with people. Like I don't really have an issue anymore, because do I still get a little bit nervous when I see people replied? Yeah, but like at the same time, like I've talked to so many people now. I literally have consistently sent invites. Like there's been like weeks where I didn't send invites out, but like when I do it, I've sent like over like 150 invites in one day. Like, and I just keep having the conversations, and I just keep like building my own confidence with it. So I find like my wording, like I don't use scripts anymore. I mean, I tweak them for my emails. Like my emails, yes, I put like some scripts in there so I don't have to like, type out a huge long thing. But as for my DMs, I just like go with the flow of the conversation.
One thing I want to add with this too is a huge reminder that if you don't invite somebody, somebody else will. You better believe, especially right now, that so many coaches are like, okay, I need this business. I need this to like work, or like the other people who are network marketing. And I just want to say really quick, like I have so much respect for Beachbody and our network, because I see so many people doing other things and they're being so gross about it right now, like exactly who you don't want to be. And it makes me feel so good to be a part of Beachbody and be a part of this network and have the total solution for people, and not be like, oh, you should buy all this product and do all these things. And I'm like, I just feel so good about what we're doing. But anyways, if you don't invite somebody, somebody else is going to. That's just the reality of it. And then that person who you thought about inviting, but you were nervous and you never did, the person who you thought would be a great coach, but you never invited, right now, and especially I think in the next 6 months, so many people are going to turn to multi-level marketing. So many different people who are going to be like, I would never do this, are going to do this because of the way everything is happening with this pandemic and everything. Like people are going to do this because they want that side income. They want something they can do from home. If they don't already have that, they want another stream of income. And so like the person that you didn't invite, you're going to see join somebody else, and that shit stings. I will tell you from personal experience with that, and it's like not fun. So, be the person to invite them, be the person to show up, be the person to know that they're there or you're there. And then also, if you do get nervous about that response or sending that like thing, I think one thing that you have to think about is nervousness and excitement are like the same feeling basically. So turn that like nervous feeling just into excited. It's just like a mindset shift that you have to make. So
it's so funny that you said that, because like one of my challengers recently, she just signed up as a regular challenger, a regular customer. She told me like that she follows like a ton of Beachbody coaches, but the reason like that she actually joined me was because I followed up with her multiple times about it, and because she trusted me, because I actually show up every single day in my stories, and she could see that I'm using the products and that they work for me. So I don't feel salesy ever, because like I truly know that what we're doing works, and I truly love these programs, and I truly love the products, and I truly love you guys, and people can like feel that, you know what I'm saying? Like if you like, especially if you're new, I know there's like a lot of new coaches in here. If you're and watching this like later on, if you're new, you need to focus on like what works for you and like your results. Like that is like such a huge thing, because people are going to see that and they're going to be like, I want that too.
I was going to add that and I've said this before, but there's really no way to mess this up. So I have done all sorts of invites that weren't right for me. I've messed things up. I've sent the wrong thing. I've called someone the wrong name. I have messed up. Okay. it's fine, because a lot of times the other person except for the person who had said the wrong name, on the other side is not like judging you like you're judging yourself. So if you send a couple like not right invites because you saw someone else doing it and it didn't work out for you, it's fine. It's all a learning process. Like, you're going to find your groove. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. And, you know, you might have sent something that didn't feel right. Maybe you regret that. Send a follow-up. Doesn't mean you give up on them. It doesn't mean that it wasn't successful because they didn't reply right away. I think you're hearing that, you know, a lot of this is just following up and staying consistent so people can come back. And I think a lot of people that do join do follow other coaches. They already know about Beachbody, and they join you because of who you are and what you bring to it, your personal touch, you know, like you as a person. They think you're funny, or they like vibe with you in another way. So that's why it's also so important that while we're sharing consistently about our workouts and nutrition, that we're sharing like parts of us. And that's the goofy stuff. That's the messing up stuff. That's the real life stuff. I really hate this like pressure to be perfect, because it's not a real thing. And we have to just be us. And you know, the first few links I sent were not real links when we didn't have Share a Cart. And like I knew, there were people I knew like kind of through other friends, and they were just like, that link didn't work. And I was like, oh, sorry, LOL, I'm new, you know? So just like say that, be like, oh, I'm learning, I don't know. No one's gonna be like, I can't believe you sent me you know, so just remember that you're going to get better with time. You're always gonna mess up. If you don't have the answer to something, I don't want it to like paralyze anyone and make them feel like they can't just go down the list, the business activity tracker. Just every day go down it, and you get to the inviting part, what I was going to say earlier. So if you get to the inviting part and you're like, I don't have anyone to invite. I already invited the 5 people I know in my life, which we know you know more than 5 people. Whoa, Violet. She's just throwing stuff in the background. Cool. So you could do 2 things. You could go down your followers. I did this the other day where I'm starting with A's, and I sent 20 messages that were kind of like what Jacqueline was saying the other day, like, hey, during this, I'm just trying to connect more with my followers. So I just sent like messages about something other than Beachbody, and I would like a couple of their posts at the same time, genuinely things, you know. And a lot of times, so going down my followers, I don't follow back all these people. So some of them I actually follow. So like, oh, this girl looks really cool. I never like looked at her before. So this is going to happen as your following gets bigger. But in the beginning, you could just do this with, you say you have 200 people. You could go down and send like just messages connecting with people, no expectations. And I think that if that's part of your connecting on your business activity tracker every day, even if you want to start with that, because I feel like that can turn into invites, it's going to be okay. But also, so that connecting thing will like, so say like, you know, you see someone that you think is interesting, or you see a friend of a friend and you want to follow this person. I often will I always like tag places that I'm at, or places like around that I go to, or like companies that I like. Sometimes I'll just cruise down someone that tagged the same coffee shop that I like to go to, or like someone that follows someone else that I like. And I'll just go down and I'll find, usually my new thing is I'll go down, Violet, come here. I'll go down like the list of who's following or whatever, who's tagged themselves somewhere, and either just look at a picture I like, or I'll look at their little like face on Instagram. It has a red line. It means or whatever. You can tell when they've gotten on their stories. So that tells me there's someone that's more active on social media. I'll go look at their stories, and then I'll find something that I want to engage in with. My point is, if you do this every single day, it can turn into just normal conversations about what you're doing. So if they come look at you, they can see that you're working out, they can see that you're eating healthy, and you didn't have to invite anyone. So I feel like that's something that everyone should be doing every single day to build our following, connect with people. And it's not salesy, it's just connecting. And I was also going to say that I, by nature, will say no to everything. I remember one time somebody asked me a question, and I was walking down the street, and I'm just like, no. Like, I don't even know what they asked me. I was just like, my gut response is just like, don't talk to me. Like, so that's how I am. But I will lurk and go back and look later and be like, what were they asking me about? And then, you know, so like, if you get a no, or you get like just remember that that could just be someone's defense mechanism, that they're like, ugh, what are you talking about? I don't want any part of this. But they will go look at you later, and they'll go look at your stuff, and they might, you know, stalk you and decide to join you later. So yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
You planted that seed. That's what you're doing. You're like planting the seed. And I wrote it in the chat, but I wanted to say it here for anybody who can't see the chat or is watching the recording. Like, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. It's like, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So even if you mess up, and I've done that too. I've messed up so many times. I've written the wrong name, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was just talking to a so-and-so. Like, you know, it happens. And then how you find people. So it depends on the network that you're looking at. If you're talking about Facebook, I like to go to like friends of friends. And if we have more than like 5 mutual friends in common, I normally start adding from there. People who are in similar groups, or have people I went to high school with who I never connected with. I didn't go to college, but like people who you went to college with, finding like interest groups like that. And then as far as Instagram, like Amber mentioned, the locations, tagging yourself in location and going through those locations and figuring out like who you vibe with, and liking and commenting on their posts, tagging them, watching their stories, reacting to their stories. I think one thing, yes, is important to remember right now, like people want to be social. So many people are in social media. So many people are like watching on social media and stalking on social media, like Amber said. Like, so even if you send that message or react, they're going to go look at your page. They're going to be like, oh, this girl's talking about fitness. Oh, I need a workout routine, or maybe I need a nutrition plan, or maybe I want to do this side hustle she's talking about, or a career she's talking about. So going through hashtags that you use, brands that you wear, if you tag certain brands. Okay, you guys, everyone's getting upset. I don't know if somebody wants to take over really quick.
I usually do like, I did the like live power hour my way the other day in the TCB group. And what I'll do is like, I'll go to the explore page and I'll find like a transformation photo, like from a huge account, and I'll go down like the list of people that commented on it, because like those people that are commenting on huge accounts, like they're not expecting anything in return. They're like usually like commenting like, wow, amazing job, or like, what did you do? Like not kind of like fully understanding that it was like a repost, I guess. So I'm like, I want these people to follow me so that I can actually help them and not ignore them like this giant account is doing. So I'll go and like click on their name. I'll go like some of their photos. Like I usually make sure that they're within like, you know, Beachbody range, like US, UK, and Canada. If like they're like, I see like so many foreign accounts, I don't engage with them. Like some of them I do because like I know like if they're following like 5,000 people and they have like 20 followers, like I know that they'll just like follow me, and like, yes, I like my numbers to go up, so I'll do it anyway. But like, dude, what's with the babies right now? Gosh. So yeah, Gina just said weight loss hashtags. Yeah, I do that. Like I will go to brands that I like Kate said, and I'll go down the followers. I'll go down the people that commented on it. People that I know, like I'll find people that they engage with. So that's pretty much what I do to increase my following, which is going pretty well. I've gained like 2,000 followers in the past few months. So like, but I do this every single day except for like Sundays.
So that's what I did every single day for like 6 months when I first started growing my following, when I wanted to go full time as a coach. Amy had me told me to invite 50 people a day and like really focus hardcore on growing my network. So I got good at my social media posts, and then I just went through hashtags and locations, and it wasn't even as great as it was because this was 6 years ago. And then yeah, post daily, and then I posted like 3 times a day. We were nuts when we first started. But what was I going to add with that? Oh, and one thing that you can do too, is as far as like finding people who are interested in inviting to the coaching opportunity, because I really want to touch on this aspect too, especially if you're looking at people who are fitnessy or people who you vibe with or you think would be a great coach. Because I don't always go straight to that invite either. I like to, again, like have some sort of communication with them, connect with them a bit. But what I do is you can add, like, you can save posts and create folders on Instagram. And so I have a folder that's like girls I would love to coach. And I save it on, I go through when I find people who I think would make great coaches, and then I form them. And it's just part of my like power hour, part of my, when I'm going through the bat and doing that, I like go through their page. I go to their thing. I just go to the folder because I follow most of them because I'm interested in them coaching, but just so I remember, because again, like Instagram feeds are crazy. You don't necessarily see everybody. So I go to that folder and then I go like their stories, you know, react to their stories, like their posts, comment on them, have some sort of conversation with them. But it's really helped me also like keep track of that too. So.
Sorry, there's Sesame Street behind me. So I think that a lot of this stuff is going to get more clear as you go. This is something I'm still working on, like my power hour. I'm still like trying to grow my following. I'm still trying to like get new eyes on me. A lot of my story watchers are people on the team, people I've already worked with. And so this is something that like you'll always be working on, but it all can't happen if you're not truly being consistent. So like, and doing the 4 vitals. So and I know a lot of us think we're doing personal development, but like, are we really? And so I just like really want to make sure that everybody is taking care of themselves first, especially with what's going on right now. I shared a podcast that I liked today and like in all the chats, it was 16 minutes long. I don't know who actually listened to it, but I think that it's, okay, cool. I also texted it to Madison because she wasn't feeling good. So I was like, listen to this. But I think that it can get really easy to get overwhelmed and just be like, tomorrow, you know, and like, I know we're all doing our workouts and I know we're all like, for the most part, eating well. Like, I know it's not perfect, but we're doing our best and we're doing better. We had in our little chat, we were talking about like ways that we like screwed up with our meal plan last week. And we we're like, but anyways, we were like, well, I still think we're doing way better than probably most people in America right now. Like, we're still kicking so much butt by just showing up and doing these workouts. So I think that just going back to basics, even if you're feeling overwhelmed and feeling like, I really strongly think that setting a time every day, doesn't matter what your life looks like, where even if it's just 15 minutes at the end of your day where you set a timer and you're like, I'm going to invite people. I also think that inviting is the thing that most of us struggle with. So it should probably be the first thing we do. And so I've been trying to do my workout, and then depending on what's going on with the kids, I feel like most of us are amped up and in good, we're feeling really good after a workout. After a workout's a really great time to invite if you can. Not right when you wake up, because like I should not read messages right when I wake up. I'm like in the worst mood, and I apologize if I've ever responded to anybody when I first wake up, because I should just not do that. So, think about where is like the best use of your time and like where you're gonna have the most high energy. And maybe that's right after your workout, or maybe it's the end of your day, or maybe it's the beginning. But I think that going back to basics and making sure they're doing the 4 vitals, they're so simple, but just being a product of the product, making sure you're like implementing some type of personal development, not just these calls, like podcasts that make you feel good, business things. Like I get fired up listening to other entrepreneur women talk about business stuff. I just do. It makes me really excited. So whatever, it's going to pump you up, and being consistent on your social media. So then when you do the inviting, it all flows, and it doesn't have to be all consuming or overwhelming. It just has to happen every day. But that's the way you're going to see like a change. And I don't know, like, I don't want to put people on the spot, but like Loea is someone that has amazing transformation, and she had hit Success Club a few times and then kind of fell off for a few months. And I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like I asked her to be in our team cup, and this was in February, and she was like, well, I don't want to let people down. And I remember even the first 2 weeks she was like, I feel like I'm letting everyone down, but she showed up every day in our chat, and since then she's hit Success Club. So I don't think that's an accident. I think tuning in and plugging in to your upline, and doesn't mean you have to be on our chats all day long. I know we're aggressive in our chats. I know we're talking a lot in our chats, but checking in and then, or maybe forming a little chat group with people that you vibe with on the team. Like if you don't want to talk to everyone on the team, that's fine, but maybe just like partner up with a few people and just plug in every day, because I'll let you talk, Leia, but I really do feel like that helped you, right? Like to like plugging in.
Sorry, it takes me forever to unmute my stupid old iPad. Yes, I think so too. Like, it definitely pushed me. I felt a lot more connected with everybody, and I learned so much. I just learned like just little tips and tricks, and that was the highest I've ever made, which was successful. I think I made 14 that month, which is like nothing for you guys, but for me that was a big deal, you know. And like, I had started the month off really slow. Like you said, like 2 weeks I had like no one, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm just gonna let this whole team down. But I was consistent, and again, I learned a lot. I learned how to connect more. I learned how to invite better, and yeah, it totally helped. And so since then, I've just been staying more plugged in, like just calls all the time, and like checking with the chat groups, and just being more involved. And I think that helps a lot. So I agree. So you're not wrong for calling me out.
I think that is awesome. Thank you for sharing. I will read what Madison wrote too, because I wouldn't have outed her, but she felt that she wanted to talk about it. But during February, like, she lost her dog, her like love, and her 6-year relationship ended. Like, and it seemed like it was kind of out of nowhere. Like, he just ended it after 6 years, you know. And she could have totally been like, screw this, I don't have time for this. And at that time, the pandemic hadn't really started, so, you know, she still like had other stuff going on, and she stayed connected. And we can't do Team Cup every single month, but I think that it's just a testament to what can happen when you plug in with the time that you have. Because back in February, we weren't in a pandemic. So I don't want to assume that people have all this extra time to give to chatting with us all day long, but I do think it's important to go back to being a part of the product and like leaning in to the team if ever possible. So I'm always stressing these team calls, but anything that you can do, even if it's just checking in the Facebook group just once a day and sharing like what happened in your day, or like a win you had, just something. I just want us to be able to like keep that high vibe going, because I really think that it helps everybody. Especially right now with feeling a little more isolated. So yeah.
One thing I want to add too is kind of like a challenge to everybody. And I don't know, and I'll share it in the team page. I'm sure it was a while back, I think it was January, that Trent Shelton did that call for us. If you don't know, he's another like personal development person. And he said, like, because I think with all of this, you keep hearing the word consistency. And a lot of the times we feel like we have a consistency problem because we're not showing up. It's not a consistency problem. It's like a why problem. And we all have very strong whys right now. A lot of us, like, we're laid off from jobs, or a lot of us, you know, just have, you know, this made you realize you want a savings account, or you need to make more, like whatever. Everybody has a different why, but it's like being connected to that why. And I really want to challenge everybody with this quarantine. Like, I don't have more time by any means. I'm still a single mom. And I mean, honestly, I think I have less time because before I was at least seeing like family once a week, and they would like maybe help with Roe for an hour so I could work. And that's not really happening. So I have less time than I did before. But for everybody who has more time, or if you are still working or whatever it is, like, I really want to challenge you to show up for like the rest of this quarantine, also for the rest of like the year, for the rest of whatever, but like really challenge yourself to show up more, or like be more consistent. Like, see that you can do it. If you're not doing it, Rachel Hollis has her next 90 days challenge. It started last week, but this is the second week. You can still jump in. It's free. You can do that and tie that along with this and be like, what if I'm just super consistent and show up more the next 90 days, more than you ever have, and like see how that affects your business, because I promise you it's going to be a positive thing. And then she also is announcing on Monday details for her Rise Business Conference that she's doing online, and it's going to be starting at $40. I highly recommend, if you haven't been to like her Rise conference, and I haven't, everybody do that, because it's a way to like work on yourself through this. So I just wanted to add those things really quick.
I think that like something that's really helped me is coming up with a plan for my posts. If you guys have the Rise Planner, I know Kayla and Amber, you guys have it. I don't know if anybody else does, but there's like a section, it's called Marketing Plan, and it goes Monday through Sunday, and you can literally like write in like what you're gonna do for that day. So I will come up like maybe like Sunday or Monday or something, I'll come up with like what I'm gonna post throughout the week. And I've never posted this much on Instagram ever. I used to be like a once like a month type of poster until like the past couple weeks. And I post like every day something that is related to what I'm doing or something that I just personally like or just a selfie or whatever. And I literally post in my stories every single day, but I've always done that. So thanks, Rachel. She said my body's banging. Your body's banging her. So I definitely suggest like maybe sit down and like write out like a little plan for the next week. Like maybe we can all do that tonight or tomorrow or this weekend even for next week, and maybe that can be like some sort of like homework that we could do, because it really does help when you're showing up consistently, even if it's just like a workout selfie or like maybe like a nice picture of food. And I'm trying to make my Instagram like more quality pictures instead of me just taking a picture every single day in the mirror like I used to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to like add more value to my storefront. So maybe we can all do that and hashtag and tag companies. I got shouted out by a page that had like 500,000 followers, and I got like 400 followers in like 24 hours because I kept hashtagging and I kept tagging this weight loss transformation page. So if you guys have it like a before after, I super suggest doing that. Like I tag like Oxygen Magazine, I tag Weight Loss Transformations, I tag Transformation Nation. Like people are looking at those pages, you know what I'm saying? Like they're going to the tagged photos and they're looking for you. Do that.
I like that challenge. So what did we say? We want to challenge for the week. Wait, what's today? So from
why don't we do like Monday to Friday? Like come up with like a marketing plan for yourself this weekend, and Monday through Friday, like we'll figure out like what posts you're going to do for the week that are related to maybe like you could do like fitness posts or like sweaty selfies, food shakes, something about coaching too though, like something about your business. That's something that I've been working on lately.
If you missed it, I'll share in Team Live and Love, but Amanda posted like she used a whiteboard and then post-it notes and like different ideas that she wanted to share, kind of like a brain dump of things that she wanted to talk about to add value on her social media. She shared that in Set Your Soul on Fire yesterday, and I thought that was really cool and really helpful too, to help like develop that marketing plan.
I love that. I'm the type of person where I write out stuff I want to do and then I just do something different, but I still show up every day. So I think having a plan is really smart if you struggle with posting every day, and then you could always come back to it. Sometimes I'll circle back. I'll be like, I'm gonna post about that today, and then like I skip it and like whatever, like who cares? It's your social media. You can do whatever you want. But I think setting a goal is really important, and if you don't follow it, that's okay too. But it's just that like getting yourself to brain dump and think about things. Also, if you see something that that I post, I don't like make it your own, but like if you're inspired by something that I've said, like you don't have to mention me, just do your own version. When I was a new coach, I did that a lot. Like I saw things that like Kate was doing and Amy was doing and other coaches that I really like looked up to. And I would like, I never would copy, but I would just use it as inspiration. I'd be like, oh, cool. I like that they mentioned that or something. So I always made it my own, but I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that to get inspiration. If you see something that someone on the team has done, make it your own. Don't be a creep, but draw inspiration from each other.
I totally like went to Mandy Kai's Instagram and scrolled down and screenshotted like just chunks of her Instagram and like some of her captions, because like I love her shit, and I was like, I need to recreate this, and I just haven't done it yet, but that's totally something that you could think about doing. I do that a lot with people. If I see something I like, I screenshot it, and I was like, I'm gonna do this too. Obviously it works.
I want to add something with that. Instead of screenshotting, because I was doing that, going back to the boards on like the saved boards, I have like post inspo. And a lot of the times also, and I encourage people, so I have like a post inspo board. I do one for each month, and I have like coach post inspo. I have fitness post inspo. I have lifestyle post inspo. I have pose post inspo, because I'm really freaking awkward in front of a camera and I don't know what to do. So, and Amber's seen me on trips do this before. We've been like, I don't know what to do. Or even in real life, we're like, I don't know what to do with my hands. So I go to this Instagram board and be like, oh, I'll try to do this. And I don't look as cute half the time as whatever, but I try. I got more awkward after pregnancy, but you know what? I try. And it's just a way to like, again, do it. And I encourage people to do that with like top coaches, look at their posts. But also like do it for non-Beachbody coaches. Find inspiration from like good successful Instagrammers who are in different industries or health and wellness, or like different things, like whether it's makeup or hair or food or whatever it is that you're into, and like that's part of your brand. Find really successful Instagrammers on that topic and like get post inspo from them, and then find a way to recreate it.
Yeah, I got inspired because Michelle had put in the chat, I liked your fridge, because I did an Instagram story or Instagram IG movie, whatever I'm trying to say. You guys know what I'm saying. IGTV of what was in my fridge. And I just had Fisher film me, and then I edited it because there's lots of parts where I was like, woo, go over here. So I edited that out. But because I saw some like fitness professional do that, and she didn't have any vegetables, PS. She's like a women's health, like total like fitspo girl, and I was like, she doesn't even have any vegetables. So, but I'm like a geek. I like seeing what's in people's fridges and what's in their medicine cabinets and what's in their purses and what's in their gym bags. Like I like that kind of stuff. So it inspired me to do it too. So it's like, you know, if there's something that you enjoy watching other people do, fitness or not, or nutrition or not, do it. And then I like made up a challenge and I tagged people. I don't know. I just like made it up. I was like, you do the fridge challenge.
Literally,
Jacqueline, did you do yours? Jacqueline was supposed to do it. I tagged her, but
What?
the fridge challenge.
Oh yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. I have it in my planner actually for an IGTV.
This is like
one thing, if you think about it too, if you feel weird, literally TikTok is an app made up to like clone people. Like that's literally what the app is about. Like people do a dance, people do a challenge, and then people make it their own. So basically it's like TikTok for the rest of your social media. Think about it that way. If you're like, oh, this feels weird, there's an entire app that everybody and their mom and grandpa and teenage cousin or nephew or niece is using. My niece, who's 12, 13, actually has more followers than I do on TikTok. And she does more TikToks than I do. But, you know, like everybody's using this and doing it. So just think about it that way.
Making in Canva right now. I'm making a graphic for. I'm gonna post it in the team page for you guys if you want to like use it or print it out or whatever for like a week of Instagram posts.
Can you share in Team Love and Love too? Thank you. I think this was a really good call, you guys. This was awesome.
Yeah, and we have so personally, I think Kate has her own chats. I know most of you guys have chats that you're in, but I have like a new coach chat, and I have my diamond push chat, which is for like emeralds and above. But if you have a question, like utilize it, you know, utilize the chats and the team page. Like if you, or you can reach out to me or whoever your upline is. But like if you have a question about you're like just hitting a roadblock, something's not connecting, and there's no stupid questions. So I just want everyone to feel very comfortable to like ask. You can ask a group, you can ask somebody, but if it's holding you back, it's not serving you. So just, you know, and then we also know what we can talk about with you guys too. Like if there's like a theme where a lot of people are having a struggle with a certain topic, then we can talk about it. So I felt like inviting is coming up a lot. So it was good that we did this, I think.
And I like to add too, because I hope this isn't a stupid question. I think it's stupid when people don't ask if that's holding them back. Like Amber said, like think about it that way. It's like, if it's holding you back and keeping you stuck on something, like that's a stupid, not that you, but like that's the holdup. So anyways, but this is
I used to ask Kate questions all day long. And then I remember finally you were like, I don't know, girl, you go. You said something like, I am not sure. I'm sure you could go like FAQ it. And then I was like, oh, I'm being annoying. But I was hitting success goal every single month. And I think my questions were valid because I was showing up and working.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't
like, no questions are bad, but like I had to kind of get to a point where I was like, oh wait, I'm just harassing her now, and I could Google this and I could like look this up. But sometimes I do still reach out to her. Sometimes I am still like, sorry to bother you, but like I don't understand what this is, you know. So you're never gonna know it all.
I have to look it up, or I'm like, oh, that's a good question, or I can help, or whatever. But there's no harm in asking.
I wanted to say one more thing because like when you guys were talking, I was like writing stuff down when we first started the call. And when I first started like inviting people, I word vomited so bad that I definitely scared the shit out of a ton of people, like for sure. But I followed up with them later when I felt more confident about my wording. And I totally like referred to the scripts in the file section just to like find my wording, you know what I'm saying? But definitely scared some people. I was like, hey guys, guess what I'm doing? You're gonna love it. They're like, the fuck? I sent them like 90 paragraphs at a time. Yeah, I stopped doing that.
Yeah, I think it's important to less is more sometimes because questions will come up that you can answer. You don't have to anticipate every question they're ever going to have in your opening message or whatever. So even like I've had to go back to my scripts and like I'm like, what? This is so long. Like I think about my life now when I open an email, if it's like 16 paragraphs, I'm like already tired. I don't want to read it. So I think it's important to, even I'm still trying to like, how can I like pare this down so it's more digestible? And so yeah. But I do think scripts are important because it keeps you from having to retype everything. But yeah, word vomiting, because we just get excited. I think that's like a normal thing. You just get excited and you want to tell them all the things. But yeah. Cool. Elmo's World. Well, I hope you guys have a good day. Is there anything else anyone wants to add?
I just posted the graphic in both team pages.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
See you guys next week. Or on the morning workouts. Hey. Bye.